At Parkland High School in Winston-Salem has just been lifted. The sheriff's office there says the school went on lockdown because of a fight in the main hallway. Investigators say a second fight broke out shortly afterward, which triggered that lockdown. The school district says no students or staff were seriously injured. The sheriff's office says it has not found any weapons involved. We will keep you in the loop.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eric Chilton with Chad Silber, Tanya Rivera, and Jalen Gilkey this afternoon.
You are watching the 4 to 5 on air, online, also on Fire Stick and Roku. And maybe if you had the opportunity, you could take it outside to watch.
Yeah, it's all the things. Another big story that we're going to be talking about is going to be following about vaccinations.
Yeah, there are some new developments with the COVID-19 vaccine. Pfizer's vaccine could be approved for emergency use in children 5 to 11 by the end of October. The former FDA commissioner, who's also on Pfizer's board of directors, said the drug company is expecting to have data on the vaccine in younger children by the end of this month. Pfizer has been conducting clinical trials in children as young as 2.
Now, while the FDA waits for that data, they're already given the green light for booster shots for people already eligible to get that vaccine. Triad healthcare systems have already started giving those out to people with weakened immune systems. Our own Jalen Gilkey spoke with a Winston-Salem mom who recently received her booster shot.
Well, Lindsay Short was diagnosed with breast cancer in May of this year. After starting chemotherapy that same month, she quickly became a member of the immunocompromised community. So for the last 4 months, Lindsay has been doing whatever she can to keep herself and her family healthy, including getting a COVID vaccine booster shot.
I think it's, for people to realize that this is really important for so many reasons. And it can make such a difference both to your own personal health, to your family, to your community, to all of us getting back to normal. I'm looking forward to next year when I will be hopefully cancer-free and hopefully COVID will be over.
Dr. Alexandra Thomas is Lindsay's oncologist. She and her team are stressing the importance of the booster shot for those most vulnerable.
I can tell you that in my clinic, and I think broadly in cancer clinics, we are unequivocally stressing this is something really important. To be on cancer therapy and develop COVID would be a major setback. Remember, not only do we have to fight the COVID then, but you'll get behind on your cancer treatments, which unfortunately 2 of my patients experienced because they developed COVID. And that not only did we have to battle COVID, it delayed our ability to treat their cancer.
As of now, the FDA has only approved boosters for both Moderna and Pfizer vaccines for the immunocompromised community. Johnson & Johnson's FDA approval is still pending.
Well, Cone Health's COVID testing site is open in Rockingham County. Let's take a look. The testing site is across from Annie Penn Hospital on South Main Street. Testing is by appointment only. Testing times are Monday through Friday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Saturdays from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. You can schedule your appointment by visiting conehealth.com/testing.
We had an alarming number among our state's coronavirus metrics. Saturday's number of new daily cases was higher than 11,000. That's a huge number. Previously, we'd only topped 10,000 cases 3 times. Saturday's number is the second highest number we have ever recorded. The only other number higher than Saturday's was back here at the very beginning of the peak of the pandemic in mid-January. We topped 11,000 once back then. It followed the 2 other days that topped 10,000. Harris Teeter is changing its hours because of the worsening pandemic. Starting Wednesday, all stores will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. The company says it's been following enhanced safety measures to protect customers and workers.
Well, authorities will reinstall a fence, that's right, around the nation's capital this week in preparation for a protest scheduled this coming weekend. Officials say they are aware of a rally in support of the people facing criminal charges for their participation in the January 6 riots at the Capitol. Sources say the groups participating in Saturday's rally could include the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. 6 people from the Triad face charges, including a former High Point police officer named Laura Steele. Just last week, a woman from Pilot Mountain pleaded guilty for her role in the riots as well. Court documents show Jenny Spencer admitted to unlawfully entering the Capitol building. Her husband also faces charges, but his case will continue in federal court.
Capitol Police arrested a man with a machete and a bayonet near the Democratic National Committee headquarters early this morning. Police say they pulled over a pickup truck painted with a swastika and other white supremacist symbols, then noticed the weapons inside. Investigators say they don't know why the man was there, but he is from California and they're not sure what he was intending to do.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. A water main break in Winston-Salem has shut down parts of Bethabara Road. The road is shut down between Old Town Road and Silas Creek Parkway after the break damaged parts of the bridge at Monarchus Creek. The water line serving apartments in the area is under repair. Officials are asking people and businesses to conserve water during those repairs. Now, if you do lose water, be sure to turn your water heater circuit breaker off and avoid opening any faucets or flushing your toilets. A lawsuit accusing Britain's Prince Andrew of sexual abuse went before a federal judge today in New York. Virginia Roberts Giuffre is accusing the prince of the assault, claiming Jeffrey Epstein and his alleged accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, forced her to have sex with the prince on multiple occasions, including when she was a minor. The Duke of York has a friendship or had a friendship with the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, which has caused scandal for the royal family. Buckingham Palace has not released a statement in response to this lawsuit. A new Dollar General is now open in Greensboro. It will be serving fresh produce. The Randleman Road location will have fresh fruits and veggies starting on Thursday after it receives its first produce delivery. Again, the store is now open, but is waiting on a delivery and will have produce on the shelves by Thursday. North Carolina has 26 Dollar General locations serving fresh produce in our area. That includes Burlington, Eden, and in Greensboro.
Well, it looks like summer does not want to let go of us just yet. We almost have like a summertime forecast over the next several days. Temperatures are doing a little bit of an up and down. We'll show you that in a minute. Not bad right now though. 86 in Greensboro, 87 Winston-Salem, High Point you're at 89 along with Walnut Cove there, and 85 in Mount Airy, 84 in Wilkesboro. So for tonight, you're going to see those overnight lows fairly mild up to about 64. Still clear tomorrow, lots of sunshine, and the hottest day of the next 7 by a long stretch here, 90 degrees for tomorrow. Across the area, nothing happening really with rain. In fact, I want to go out to a wide shot here. It's a massive ridge of high pressure that keeps us fairly clear. In fact, it's kind of two of them, one off the coast, and that of course will bring our winds more out of a southerly direction, that mid 80s that we saw today. Now, it'll get warmer though as we head into the next day or so. Again, we mentioned that 90-degree day, but notice that the high pressure systems are holding back the rain. We've got rain to the southeast and back to the northwest. Probably not until we get to Wednesday that we see some of this converging over our area, and that brings us a better chance of rain here. I want you to look at the 7-day forecast. From 90 tomorrow with all sunshine, we go with a 20% chance of a shower on Wednesday, and highs will cool down to the mid 80s there. Cooler on Friday, 83, but we'll have a few late day storms. That's a 40% chance, typical summertime pop-up variety. Same story Saturday with a high of 86, and we build back to 87 by Sunday. Rain chance is pretty slim, although we do see them. That's for Sunday and Monday. We look for a 20% chance of showers those 2 days, and highs cooling to 85 by Monday of next week. Or if you're a big fan of the Andy Griffith Show, then your time is here, my friend. It is time for the annual Mayberry Days Festival in Mount Airy. Now, in case you don't know, this festival draws thousands of fans from literally all over the country to the small Piedmont town. I spoke with festival coordinator Terry Champney about the humble beginnings of this North Carolina treasure.
This has been going on about 32 years. We started it when some of the cast and crew were meeting in another city, and Jim Clark suggested that we have a Mayberry Day. So we had a Mayberry Day 32 years ago, and now it's turned into Mayberry Days and almost a week. It's about bringing the fans of Mayberry, of the Andy Griffith Show, back to Andy's hometown of Mount Airy, where they can all gather and meet some of the celebrities that were actually on the show.
And speaking of that, Terry says that this year is one of the biggest they've had so far, at least as far as celebrities are concerned.
We hope to have Betty Lynn, who plays Thelma Lou, Leroy McNeese, that he plays with the Country Boys. We'll have Clint Howard, who was Ron's brother, that was Leon on the show. Ronnie Shell. We'll have Rodney Dillard, who was on the show with the music, with the Darlings, along with Dennis Rush, who was Johnny Paul, Margaret Carey, Joy Ellison, a number of folks that appeared on the show.
Yeah, it's a big lineup. Mayberry Day starts the 21st, so you have a little more than a week until that starts. It runs through the 26th. It's totally free. There are some things you have to pay for along the way, performances and that type of thing. But this has been, I mean, 32 years. This has been going on. It's a big deal for the city of Mount Airy. And we have a story. So Terry's father, who I knew, lived across the street from my father in retirement years, was Andy Griffith's best friend growing up. And he's passed on, but she told some great stories, and we're going to show that in our 4:30 show coming up. Some of the stories about his growing up with Andy and the friendship.
Like the real Andy.
The real Andy.
The real Andy. I got it.
What's it like being from there?
It is funny because when I was little, it wasn't a big deal. People talked about it a little bit, but it wasn't. I mean, I guess back then the show had only been off the air for a few years. Everybody knew he was from there, and everybody thought that was a big thing, but we didn't have a Mayberry Days, and you know, Floyd's Barbershop was just City Barbershop and all that type of thing, so we didn't get it until later, and then it became
What about
a thing.
Snappy Lunch?
Snappy Lunch, yeah, that was mentioned on the show, and it's been there
And
since
that was
the
always there,
40s.
okay.
Yes, and that Floyd's Barbershop is where Andy got his haircut as a kid, so that's real.
It's like growing up on a movie set.
It
right?
is kind of, yes.
That's cool. Well, speaking of Mayberry Days, downtown Mount Airy announced a new Andy Griffith mural. Here's a sketch of what it'll look like. The mural will be painted on the large wall at Brannick and Hyatt Furniture on Main Street. It'll be done by the same artist who painted the Melva Houston mural in Melva's Alley.
All right, so I asked you on Facebook just to tell me your favorite Andy Griffith Show character and why. This was almost like an argument with people here,
I'm
right?
sure.
Yeah, let's start out with Sherry Clodfelter, who said Barney, no explanation needed. Carolyn said Ernest E. Bass, he has so much energy and just so silly, running around breaking out the windows, and his love for Charlene Darling, he's hilarious. Jennifer said Goober Pile, in case you didn't know, that is Gomer's cousin. She says, I really like all of them. Goober's funny and great with his hands because he once put a car together in the courthouse in an episode. That's true. Francine says Andy because he always kept people calm and he was so kind. And Sarah Park said, love the show. Ernest T. Bass or Otis, both really made me laugh. And Jonathan Jones said, I love the show, especially the episode when all the ladies got drunk and Aunt B was playing the piano and they were all singing.
My favorite one is when she makes the pickles,
Yes,
but there's
kerosene.
kerosene in the pickles, and Andy's like having to eat them and he's struggling.
He and Barney both.
Yes, because they don't want to hurt her feelings,
That's
of
right.
course.
You can't hurt Aunt B's feelings.
I know.
So I don't think that I ever saw an Andy Griffith episode until I moved to North Carolina. And I think, I mean, you know.
I didn't either.
Right.
Yeah, growing up in Florida, I did not have Andy Griffith.
It's funny
on
because
TV.
it debuted in October of 1960, and it has never been off the air completely since then, whether it's Nick at Night or TV Land or local affiliates that ran it. And we're one of the stations, I think Macon, Georgia is another one that has always had Andy Griffith on the air at some point. That was something that he was very proud of, that it was still in syndication. But I mean, that made his career. He was a stand-up comic, you know, in the beginning.
Do you guys have favorite characters?
I'd have to say Ernest T. is one of my favorites.
I mean, I don't think you can't go wrong with any of them.
Right.
But I am going to say Aunt B because I think she puts herself in some ridiculous situations and she's always like, ooh.
I know, she's such an old school. One thing is funny, if you watch the first 2 or 3 episodes in the very beginning, Andy was kind of the simple-minded country boy, the goofy one. And as the series went on, he became the voice of reason and the other cast of characters became the fun. So
Interesting.
And what a cool voice of reason, who still is the voice of reason today for many things.
one lady said in our comment thread, she said, I use what Andy did with Opie a lot of times with my own kids after watching that show and getting that message. I love the one, Opie the Birdman. Just Google that and watch that on YouTube. It's the best episode of all of them, I think. I love the ones where Opie he usually ends up teaching Andy a lesson.
Yeah, sometimes. So true.
I love that. We'll be right back. All right, the most notable catch in Saturday's game between Miami and App State didn't even happen on the field. Someone caught a cat that fell from the upper deck. This video shows the cat hanging from a banister inside Hard Rock Stadium. Fans in the stands above tried to reach down for the cat, but it fell. Fans below used an American flag to catch the cat. It's not clear where that cat came from or where it ran off to afterward. Miami-Dade Animal Control is actually looking for this cat now. They'd like to take it to the shelter, and I'm certain someone will adopt it after it's brushed with death and now with fame. I couldn't stop watching that video. It was wild.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And I had friends at the game, App State friends, who went to Miami. And I'm like, hey, did you catch the cat? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you need to look at this entire thread.
It was great. And I love that that the fans really got behind it. I mean, there was like cheers. I mean, it was great.
It's like a movie, you know, when the firemen bring out the big net to capture
Yes.
somebody. That's like, yeah, it's typical, like a movie scene.
It was just such a, you couldn't describe America in a sentence. We got an American flag, we got teamwork, people holding the flag to catch a cat that's about to fall to its near
All
death.
kinds of cheers
I mean,
for
it's
that.
incredible. And I think because it happened on September 11th and they're using an American flag.
During the
to
football
catch it,
game.
I mean, what a storyline.
And someone was like, how did a cat get in there? And I'm like, have you been to Miami?
There you go.
Like,
I mean, like, how many times do you see cats running across baseball
Everywhere,
fields?
yes.
I mean,
Yeah, all the
sneaky.
time.
Cats are
Yes.
sneaky.
I would
Yes.
love to see like people like maybe 2 sections over hear this cheer. They have no idea because I'm sure it didn't coincide with the game. Right?
Right.
Everybody's like, what is going on over there?
But they're just cheering because the people down the way are cheering, right?
That's right.
And these
Oh,
people
it
that-
just started the wave.
Well, these people that caught this cat had a better time than the people at the Washington football game. Did y'all see that where the sewer start leaking?
I did see
Oh,
that. The
my
sewer
goodness.
water was coming
Oh
down.
my
Yes.
goodness.
And the guy looked back up and said, hey, this is your stadium.
Yeah, it was just-
I chose the cat.
Yeah, cat's
We'll
better.
be right back.
Hot weather creeping back into the forecast, especially for your Tuesday. Now, once we get past that, we'll get back to a little bit closer to normal, low to mid 80s. But yeah, it's like summer doesn't want to let go just yet. We're at 86 degrees in the Triad now. Boone's at a comfortable 78. Asheville, not too bad at 82. Look south to the coast, Wilmington at 89. Elizabeth City in the northeastern parts of the state at 88. And Columbia, South Carolina at 87 degrees. So warmer weather still kind of holding on a little bit. In fact, we think that on your Tuesday, we'll probably top out around 90 degrees. I'll step out of the way so you can see this. The hour by hour tonight, not all that uncomfortable. We go to 80 degrees by 8 p.m., but we'll be in the low 70s by 2 a.m. And we think our overnight lows will be in the mid to upper 60s before we shoot back up, as we said, to about 90 degrees tomorrow. You notice the rain is nowhere near us, and that's because of kind of a double-barreled high-pressure system. I mean, we've got one to the west of us, one to the east, and we're right in the middle of that. They don't really release their grip on us until Wednesday. So I'll stop this time lapse at about 4:25 on Wednesday, and you can see some of the scattered thunderstorms now starting to develop across the area as we see a frontal system kind of park itself over us. That'll bring us a chance. A lot of that kind of pop-up late-day showers and thunderstorms. That's sort of what we're used to, right? So tonight, there's that low. Clear skies for the most part, and we'll go with 64. Winds will be light. light, but out of the southwest. And that's a warmer flow for us. Going into tomorrow, 90 degrees. One more 90 we'll tack on. Hopefully this is the last one for the year. Long range with the outlook, we mentioned temperatures, they do get a little bit better here. I mean, from 90 tomorrow, pretty hot. We go to 86 for Wednesday, Thursday. Rain chances slip in a little bit. 20% Wednesday afternoon and evening, 30% Thursday, a 40% Friday, Saturday. Friday, the coolest day at 83, and we'll stay in the mid to upper 80s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with reduced rain chances for Sunday and Monday.
You know, when life knocks us down, it may feel pretty impossible to stand back up. We may feel as if that dream that we were striving for is just simply out of reach. Coach Lamont shares a message today to the fullest in today's U Day segment.
So here's a question for you. Where's the wealthiest place in the world? Well, I can imagine some of your responses, but to get to the point, the wealthiest place in the world is the place that I'm standing right now, the cemetery. Well, you may ask, Coach, why the cemetery? It's simple. There were books here which were never written. There were dreams never fulfilled, cures to diseases never brought to fruition. And the reason, you ask, is because people did not believe that it was possible for them. Well, maybe right now you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, Coach, is it even possible for me? Let me answer that question. It is. Don't just live your life to exist. Live your life to conquer. The grave has already stolen much from so many people. Don't let the grave steal from you. This is your coach, Coach Lamont, reminding you today is your day to live. Have your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, I am talking about covering up, why people cover up and why some people are better at others at it. No, I'm not hearing.
Good Monday afternoon to you. I am Chad Silver here with Eric Chilton, Tanya Rivera, and Jalen Gilkey this afternoon.
You're watching the 4 to 5 on air, online, on Fire Stick, on Roku, and like you said, maybe even outside.
Geez, I know that today is warmer, Eric Chilton, than it has been, but it still feels great.
It still feels good. We got one more day of hot weather and we'll cool it down toward the end of the week.
I don't know what y'all complaining about, man. It is
Nothing.
absolutely good.
Not complaining.
complaining
I'm just saying it's a little bit warmer, but still comfortable.
Okay, fair enough.
I enjoy that.
Fair enough.
All right, let's get right to it. New research has identified a possible cause for long-lasting COVID-19 symptoms. People who have them have become known as long haulers.
Yeah, and our sister station in Little Rock, Arkansas, spoke with a healthcare professional who explains how an antibody is actually disrupting the entire immune system.
Surviving's one thing, but I'd like to be back to feeling the way I was before.
It's a feeling Tom Harrington hasn't felt in over a year.
It just gets kind of deflating because as much as you want to try to do something, I don't have the energy to do it, or my head's hurting really bad.
After being diagnosed with COVID on June 21st, 2020, and hospitalized for 11 days, those symptoms still linger. Harrington spent the last several months going to doctor after doctor, trying to figure out why.
Any kind of research that could pinpoint a cause, to me, would be a great thing, even if there wasn't a way to cure it.
Thanks to researchers and doctors at UAMS like John Arthur, hope could be coming.
We found that there's an antibody in patients that have had the coronavirus infection that could be related to the symptoms that people get with long-haul COVID.
According to Arthur, this antibody shows up weeks after the initial infection and creates problems for the immune system by attacking the enzyme that helps regulate the body's response to COVID. In other words, the body may be attacking itself even after the virus is gone.
If we're right, there's some commercially available drugs that may actually even help with this.
Arthur is hopeful with more studies on the way, some relief could come for Harrington and so many others.
If we can find the mechanism and find a way to treat it, that's going to be a tremendous improvement for a lot of people in terms of the quality of their life.
Coming up at 5:30 today, we are hearing from a Cone Health expert about the surge in the virus and the pandemic as a whole. Just text your questions to 336-379-5775. We will get them answered starting at 5:30.
And we'll have one more day of pretty hot weather as we go to 90 tomorrow, but then back to normal. Low to mid 80s, that's where we should be this time of the year. We'll get there. Just give us another 24 to 48 hours. I think we'll be okay. 86 in the Triad, 78 in Boone, Asheville at 82. If you head south, Charleston at 86, Columbia, South Carolina 87, Wilmington at the coast at 89, and Elizabeth City at 88. We do see a 90 there in Richmond, Virginia, beautiful city, and then Roanoke at 89 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear. There's that low of 64. Winds fairly light. They'll be out of the southwest, we think. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny. Again, a southwesterly flow, which of course is warm, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we'll kind of cook a little bit tomorrow with that mostly sunny sky. It will not be quite as humid as what we'd see maybe in the middle of July, but still 90 degrees is 90 degrees, isn't it? And we'll watch that. Clear conditions for us across the Triad tonight and all day tomorrow. We have two high pressure systems that are controlling us. One's to the east of us, one to the west. We're right in the middle, and that means really no trouble right there. We call that the bubble of no trouble, and there it is. One there, one here. Warmer tomorrow with that 90-degree weather, but as we head into the next couple of days, we'll see some changes as these highs move out of here and move on to the east. Take a look at futurecast clouds and radar, and you can see the scattered showers really don't get here until Wednesday. And even then, you're looking at only a 20% to 30% chance. We think by Friday, that's probably the best day, really, of the week. We'll see cooler weather, although rain chances are going up. 64 degrees for your low tonight, mostly clear skies tomorrow. We'll see those highs around 90, and then the cool down. 86, although will be a little bit humid on your Wednesday. 20% chance then, 30% Thursday, and 86. We go Friday with that 40% chance of rain, but the coolest high of 83. And then as we head into Saturday and Sunday, you're looking at 86 and 87. Rain chance is still 40%. All these, by the way, late day pop-up showers. Then a reduced 20% chance for Sunday, Monday. Back closer to normal. We should be around 82. We're still a little warm, but 85 by Monday of next week.
All right, people, let's talk football. As in, what are the must-haves when you're watching football at home, when you want to eat and drink? Let me get it out of my mouth. Okay, here we go. These are my picks. First off, the buffalo chicken dip. Second off, the sausage dip.
Oh, double dip.
The cheesy goodness. They scream football. So let me know, what are your favorite snacks?
That I would go with both of those. I'm a grazer though, so I don't want to have a whole plate full of stuff. I just want to keep going back and dipping things.
Yes. Okay.
All about the chips in any kind of dip for me.
All right.
But what you mentioned is those are two of the best.
All right, Jalen, what do we
Chips and
think?
salsa, but you cannot beat hot wings. I don't care what the occasion is. It
Okay.
could be any occasion. I'm down for hot wings.
I agree. I did kick off the college football season with hot wings,
There
so
you go.
I hear
Nice.
you. Okay, so let's talk ranch dressing. Okay, because it is used on or in so many things. It is in my buffalo chicken dip, for example. If you had to guess, what do you think the percentage is of ranch dressing used outside of the salad bowl? Because again, it's ranch dressing. It's supposed to be used for salad. So how much do you think of the ranch dressing percentage is used for without salad?
I just don't know a lot of people, except for my 11-year-old son, that likes ranch on their salads anymore. So I'd say it's a high percentage, 80%.
I'd say at least half.
Yeah.
Jalen?
I like how ranch tastes. I'm just not a big ranch guy. I prefer blue cheese personally, but let's say 75%, just because I know there's a lot of other things going on there.
Friends, you are so right. According to the firm Ipsos Omnibus, about 70% of ranch dressing is used outside of the salad bowl. All right, Consumer Reports recently tested 23 dressings to find the tastiest and the healthiest. Consumer Reports food experts, well, they focused on two of the most popular types of salad dressings: raspberry vinaigrettes and America's favorite ranch, but really this is all about ranch, so I'm just gonna skip past that raspberry vinaigrette. So you can. Overall, the tested ranch dressings have more sodium, than the vinaigrettes, ranging from 150 to 280 milligrams in just 2 teaspoons. It's a lot of salt, friends.
Ranches did have more sodium than the vinaigrettes, but the ones we tasted all had 1 gram or less of sugar and were surprisingly low in unhealthy saturated fats.
I call that a win.
Right.
One classic ranch dressing that CR recommends has just 45 calories a serving. It's Bolthouse Farms Classic Ranch Yogurt Dressing. They say it's got a traditional style ranch, creamy with some mild spices. Now, you may want to try this next one. It has topped the ranch ratings of all the taste testers. It's called Primal Kitchen Ranch Dressing and Marinade with avocado oil. They say it's kind of tart, a little bit lemony with flavors of onion, garlic, black pepper, and dill. I say ranch it up, friends.
That last one kind of got me there. I like that.
All right, how do you follow that up? I'm gonna try right here. Okay, so we've all done something that we hope no one would ever find out. It could be as minor as maybe cheating on your diet or calling out sick when you're not actually sick. Blanca Cobb is here to talk about this today. Blanca, why do we do these things?
Well, a lot of people will cover up because it's about image preservation. Everybody has this mask that they're wearing that they want to be perceived as a certain way. So if you do something that's against that image and you're aware of it, many people will try to cover it up. They don't want to be judged. They don't want to be embarrassed. Maybe they're ashamed of what they've done. So it's easier to pretend and to cover up than just tell the truth of what actually happened.
Okay, so how does someone's body language change when they are trying to cover something up?
That's a great question. And one of two ways. One is that people will actually get smaller because they're embarrassed, right? They're ashamed that they might start covering up parts of their body because they're feeling vulnerable. For example, they might cover up their neck. They might take their arms and they might cross them across their midsection or resting on both arms. They might hide behind a chair, so to speak. It's just something that provides like a psychological barrier and protection from what they've done. Another way is that people want to be very convincing because they just want for you to back off of the topic, that they're going to get bigger and they're going to get bolder in their body language. That means that they're going to take up space. They might pop up an elbow or just stand really wide. And then you'll also notice that some people will tend to get uncomfortable or silent when the topic is brought up.
Now, I'm not saying this is a good thing, but why are some people better at covering things up than others?
One reason can be is the consequence, the potential consequence. Some people just don't care if you find out. Sure, they're going to try to hide it because they don't want anyone to find out. But if somebody does, they're going to be like, hey, that's on you, not me. Other people are going to be more sensitive. Again, they want to have this perception of themselves to be in a good light, and also the consequences. So the more skin you have in the game, the more likely you're going to be nervous and upset if it's uncovered.
Blanca, always great advice. Thank you. If you'd like to watch this again, you can find it on our website or our YouTube page. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am really bad at hiding things, covering things up. And but I'm I'm happy with that. I'm glad that I'm a bad liar.
Then it's transparent and you're truthful, and this is a
Right.
good thing.
No game face, Silver? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I'm not very good at poker because, yeah, I just, that poker face.
I always
don't have
thought
it.
that when people are trying to cover stuff up and you bring it up, like, did you do such and such? If they overreact, no, to me,
Oh, yeah.
that's a dead giveaway.
I always think when the eyes start darting around, that is the dead giveaway.
It is interesting that Blanca said that, sometimes people will go one of two ways. Either they'll get really small,
Right.
their body language, if they're
Yep.
trying to, or they'll get really big, throw out elbow jabs and just kind of, I don't know.
Or like Eric said, go, no, why would I do that?
Right,
Right.
too much.
Yeah.
Well,
Guilty
don't
dog
cover
barks
anything
the
up.
loudest.
Just do the right thing,
Right.
right?
We're looking at you.
And that's my 2
you.
cents.
I see you.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Earlier in the show, we talked about the popular Mayberry Days Festival that's coming up in Mount Airy in another week or so. Well, we all know that Mount Airy was Andy Griffith's hometown, but if you ever paid a visit years past to the Andy Griffith Museum, you might have met a gentleman named Emmett Forrest. Now, Emmett passed away several years ago, but I had the pleasure of calling him a friend as well. I spoke with his daughter, Terry Champney, about her dad and Andy Griffith's special connection.
My dad's connection and Andy, they grew up together, went to high school together, elementary through high school together, and remained friends for life. The last time Andy came to Mount Airy was for my mom's funeral, and that just showed the friendship that carried on for life.
And it truly did. Terry also shared a story that I had never heard before. This is one of her favorite stories about her father and Andy's relationship, and he said that was a friendship that her dad protected and cherished.
Dad and I would volunteer in the museum. Andy had sent a letter to my dad about the Matlock suit, and it describes the suit. At the end of the letter, it says, "There's something I want to ask your advice on." So when Daddy and I would volunteer, Daddy would say, "Oh, do you have any questions to the fans?" And you would think it'd be, "Well, how did you get the Matlock suit?" Or "How did you get the sheriff's star?" And the question was, I want to ask you, what did Andy want your advice on? And my dad would just smile real big and he said, I'll never tell. And he never told. That's the definition of friendship.
Yeah, so he did, he never, she even said, I even asked Dad, I'm your daughter, just tell me. She said, no, that was Andy's request, and so he honored that.
I mean, they had been friends for longer than most other people knew each other.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, there's like an elementary school class photo that Emmett has at maybe at the museum, and you can see Andy and Emmett. They were like 6, went to the same elementary school. He used to go into his house to play. I mean, they were friends forever.
And that makes me think: how many friends are you friends with from elementary school? From elementary school friends?
0.
Really?
Now, see, what about you?
Even from Facebook?
Well, yeah, Facebook friends, but I don't
Okay.
consider Facebook friends like
Friends,
all
friends.
Facebook friends.
Yeah.
Friends.
No, I have one from elementary school that we grew up with, and I just visited her not too long ago in Vegas.
So it's funny, it's the difference in where you grew up, and I'm actually surprised, Jack, because I know you're with the town.
Small town.
Small
River.
town.
Yeah, very small
So
town.
for me, all of us went to the same elementary, junior high, and high school. So I have, I don't know, 7 or 8 that I keep in touch with, you know. But that's interesting, because I thought a lot of times we only had in our little school system, Mount Airy City Schools, as opposed to the county, it's 2 elementaries, a middle, and a high school.
And you wonder how much of that will happen in years to come, because people are becoming more and more, mobile, that they're like, no, I don't want to live at home. I want to go here and I want to go there or wherever else.
Even my wife is like, it's so unusual for me to hear that you have friends. Like my best friend growing up, that was my roommate at Carolina for 4 years. We met the first day of 1st grade.
Oh my goodness.
And we went through high school together. We told our parents when we met, because we both were Carolina fans, we're going to go to Carolina and room together.
And
we
they
did.
thought, nah, and it happens.
It's
Love
kind
it.
of funny.
We need some old pictures, by the way.
Small town USA. Well, I'll get
Then
those.
and now.
My
Okay.
hair is this big. This big.
We'll be right back.
Carry my hair around.
on your 4 to 5, we follow what is trending, which is why we have to share with you a Greensboro woman's tweet going viral. This is Heather. Okay, something's going on. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's my mic or not. Sorry, friends. Heather is an assistant at the professor, she's an assistant professor of English at Greensboro College. She shared this tweet showing an old bottle of Vicks Vapo Rub. Old school. She said, "My son has been sick, and shout out to my mom who loaned us the same pot of Vicks that she used on me growing up. The expiration date is 187. Heather followed up her own tweet by saying, "Rest assured, I did use this, and it did indeed help. Vintage Vicks for the win." Here's what some people had to say in response to her tweet. All right, Fran said, "We rub it on the soles of their feet, followed by socks before going to bed with a cough. I know that it sounds crazy, but I resisted it at first, and I tried it with my daughter one night, and against all odds, it worked. Literally cried from relief." Nina said, "I once saw my grandma smear Vicks on her dislocated knee. I didn't know that that could help." This next person says, "Same Z's. My mom sent along a jar from '82 and calls to check to make sure that I use the right technique. By the way, I happen to be the global chief medical officer and a former CMO at United Healthcare. She doesn't care." And Alexandra said, "My grandma would thickly smear that on my chest when I was sick. I would have to hold my PJ top open for her to make sure that the whole procedure was more," and she thought it was more self-inflicted than anything. She's like, "What's worse, buttoning my thin cotton top back up just to have it grossly be stuck to my chest with all of the Vaseline." All right. This user helps us teach a history lesson. "My mom actually had a bit rubbed inside our nostrils. It was a bit icky, but it made me be able to breathe again. I endured it. First sold in 1905. Vapo Rub was originally manufactured by the family-owned company Richardson Vicks Incorporated, based right here, of course, in Greensboro, North Carolina." So it is a great fun fact that Vicks was born here. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I would use one from 1905.
But it.
What's in it?
I know. Well,
menthol eucalyptus.
That's right. That's right. I remember my mother would put a little bit right here,
right.
But I do remember putting it on my chest, and it does open you up. But as I got older, I remember she had a humidifier where you could put the Vicks in there, thing, right, and it would like put it out in the air.
I have that.
With my kids.
Yep. Have you tried the Vicks on the feet?
No, I haven't. But I've heard of a lot of people doing that.
It works.
Really?
It works,
I've heard that all my life and thought like, no way. All right, now I'm gonna try it.
All right. But I do love that you can see one of those signs, like the Greensboro history signs, right down on Elm Street, right near the Civil Rights Museum, where it talks about the Vicks Vapo Rub.
Yes.
That's cool.
It's amazing that it was developed here. I mean, that's a long-lasting product that will probably never go away.
No, and it goes from one generation to the other because, Vicks. It works, right? It just works.
I feel like this entire newscast has been about lasting things. We got Andy Griffith, we got Vicks Vapo Rub.
Ranch dressing.
And ranch dressing.
All of which can cure some ails, right?
Now all we need is Andy Griffith doing a Vicks commercial and then ranch dressing.
Boy, that's incredible.
It's crazy. All right, let's talk about our forecast, shall we? We're looking at some hot weather moving back in again tomorrow as we go to 90 degrees. Current temperature is 86 in the Triad at the coast. You're at 88 in Elizabeth City, Wilmington at 89. Beautiful weather actually all across the state. Clear skies tonight, 64 for that low. Tomorrow, 90 degrees, lots of sunshine. Yeah, summer's just kind of hanging on for a little bit there. We'll cool down. It just takes us a few days. Now, our normal high is around 82, so we won't be close to that for the next week, it looks like. Clear skies across the area, two big high-pressure ridges, and basically we're kind of caught in the middle of that. Notice the rain all the way up around the Great Lakes, and then you have to go down to the deep south, the Mississippi, Alabama area to see any more rain, and that's because of those two high-pressure systems. So they hang on for a little bit. By Wednesday, I think we'll see the pattern break, and then we get a chance of rain. Now, it's not a huge chance on Wednesday, and watch our future cast here. All clear and dry right through Tuesday. Now, this is Tuesday afternoon. Now, as we get into Wednesday afternoon, some of that moisture starts to converge over our state, and we get a better chance at a shower or two. They'll be widely scattered, pop-up variety, just like a summertime forecast. So tonight, 64, that low with clear skies. We've got the high tomorrow at 90, and then thankfully we'll cool down. Friday actually looks like one of the cooler days of the next 7, but we'll go 86 for Wednesday, Thursday, with only a 20 to 30% chance of a pop-up late day shower storm. That goes up to a 40% Friday, Saturday, high Saturday 86, then Sunday, Monday, reduced rain chances 87 and 85.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2.
Hi there, Oklahoma. Oh, I'm starting over. Excuse me. A new day, a new week. All this. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California. Starting from the beginning.
Callie is back with Stormy.
It's about freaking time.
Yay! School's been back in session for weeks. And
Hey, mic check. Do you guys need me to move the camera? I'm a touch, right? Where's the sticker?
Heard you got a handy mic.
Ooh.
Ten 9-876-54321.
Oh. Yes, it did. Mm-hmm. How have you been feeling? Are you burned out at work? You've heard us do stories recently on some businesses in the service industry giving employees a day to rest and recharge. They blame the nationwide labor shortage for too few workers and too many hours for those who are actually working. It's a problem felt across many professions, but I want to focus on the service industry, the fast food joints, the restaurants and bars. We all know just about every place is hiring. They are hurting for workers. Some restaurants simply can't open some days because they just don't have enough people. It can be easy to get frustrated when you're at one of these places because the line's too long or the service is slow. Let's be honest, it's not like it used to be pre-pandemic. I've noticed some workers who just look burned out. Maybe you've seen it too. They're doing the jobs of 2 or 3 people but getting paid for just one. When I see this, I try to remind myself of the situation and remember that they're likely doing the best they can. You never know what someone else is dealing with, especially while we continue to try to navigate this pandemic and all the changes it brings. I'm trying to use more grace these days. Maybe you've got room for a little more too. That's just my 2 cents, and you're 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
School has been back in session for weeks, and parents are still waiting for their kids under 12 to be eligible to get the COVID-19 vaccine.
Now, that approval could come by the end of October if the FDA likes what it sees. WFMY